Welcome to Student Connections, where our students connect with their community.
Welcome to Student Connections on M6, your hometown station. I'm your host, Meghan Hoffman, and joining me today is Mrs. Diana Mason and Mrs. Debbie Long from Woodland School. How is Woodland School different from other schools?
Well, we're different because we're a center-based program, and that means that we serve the 7 local school districts here in St. Clair County. We serve their special education students that they are not able to serve for various reasons. Most often it's because of their cognitive functioning and their physical and their medical disabilities that they have that compound some of their issues.
Okay. What does a standard day look like?
Oh, a standard day is different for every child, but they'll come in from the buses about 8:45 in the morning, and they'll definitely have a snack in the morning, and they might be having occupational therapy, physical therapy, they might be going to gym class, swim class, they might be working on academics, they might be out on job training sites out in the community, they could be out on community-based instruction. That would be a typical day at our school.
Okay, and what are some of the common disabilities that the kids have?
Well, any child who comes there would definitely have a cognitive disability, so they would be functioning at the moderate cognitive impaired level or the severe cognitive impaired level. They could have other physical disabilities and medical conditions as well that complicate some of their learning processes.
Okay, and how many staff are needed to keep the school running smoothly?
Approximately 80 staff.
Okay.
And 171 students.
Okay, and do the staff need special training?
Well, yes, they do. All of my teachers are special education teachers. They have minimally a bachelor's degree. The majority of them have a master's degree in special education. And the therapists, of course, all have their licenses and the things that are required for occupational therapy, speech and language therapy, and physical therapy.
Okay, and for special needs kids, are like the state requirements to like graduate or complete high school different?
Mm-hmm. Yes, they are. Our students in my program only receive a certificate of completion, and that's because they're not following the general curriculum. They have an adapted curriculum that meets their individual needs. So
Okay.
They won't literally graduate, they complete program and receive a certificate of completion. There's other rules as far as severe cognitive impaired classrooms, moderate cognitive impaired classrooms, and severely multiply impaired classrooms as to the amount of students that can be in those rooms and the amount of staff that need to be assigned to those classrooms. So that would be some of the differences.
Okay, and what post-completion plans are available to the students?
Well, the families, the students and their guardians or the parents have quite a few options, certainly more options they ever did in the past. One, of course, is to stay home. You know, they don't have to go on with any other education. And I didn't say to you, but our children, our youngest child is 3 and our oldest would be 26. So
Okay.
Some choose to stay till they're 26. After Woodland, though, the opportunities are Community Enterprises is a day program, formerly known as the ARC. There's also another one called Bright Futures, and then there is also Special Dreams Farms, and some of the families take advantage of that kind of post-Woodland programming, which is day programming.
Okay, and what would the kids like go on to do after they
Oh,
complete
at
it?
the community enterprises, they might work at the tea shop, they might be doing some piecework, they'd be going out into the community, they might even have some job training out in the community, they would be taking classes that they would enjoy, whether it was about computers or art or things of that nature. And similar things happen in Life Skills Center. I don't have a lot of information for you, but they definitely do things out in the community and have a day program that way. In Special Dreams Farm, they have an opportunity to work at a farm and do some planting and some gardening, it's my understanding.
Okay, I hear you guys got a new program introduced, M.O.V.E. Can you give us some background information on that?
Yeah, sure can. Quite a few years ago now, we learned about an opportunity and we were so excited, and I sent the email out to Debbie and one of my other teachers who teach severely multiply impaired, because it sounded like something finally for our young people that their bodies were certainly not as mobile as some of the other students. So we were so very excited, and Deb and our other teacher Bev took up on that opportunity, and it's called M.O.V.E, Mobility Opportunities via Education, and it was originated in Bakersfield, California by a special education teacher, and her name is Linda Badabi. And it's really it's a mindset. It's a way of thinking about not sitting back and waiting for the world to come to you, but being able to get up and get to your world and interact with people.
Okay.
Move is a philosophy. It's a way of life. All of us learn by moving. And so that was the big premises, is that we learn when we move.
Okay. We're going to take a short break to watch a video on Move, and we'll be back with more.
I came into special ed so that I could try and make a difference with kids and their families. And the MOVE program has really helped me in the last few years to feel fulfilled in my job, because before they used to come in a position or in their wheelchairs, and we just put them in a position on a mat table, on the floor or something, changed their brief, and did range of motions and goals around them. Well, now they might come in their wheelchairs off the bus, but when they come in the room, wow, we got them up, they're going to the bathroom, and when you see them, they're smiling, they're happy. It's like, wow, somebody finally thought of us and they got it right.
3 years ago, I had the privilege of coming into a classroom where the primary concern was the MOVE program. Prior to coming into this classroom, I worked for 13 years in a M.O.V.E classroom where all of the students were ambulatory. When coming in here, to say I was a little skeptical is probably an understatement. Well, coming in here, we got our students up into equipment on a daily basis, and I have seen many changes. After being up in equipment, they're learning some upper body strength and head control. And so now, rather than spending most of their morning, while we're in morning circle, looking at their feet, they're looking with their heads up and engaging with their peers and with us.
A part of what they do here at Woodlands is not just about educating, it's about teaching the kids life skills. And what is the main life skills that you learn here is to become independent. And so for Marissa, there's no greater way to be independent than to be able to move herself.
MOVE is a program that helps individuals with disabilities learn how to help themselves. It's a program that listens to the family and listens to the individual with disabilities and focuses on the needs and desires that are important to them.
We have a student that started out using a pacer gait trainer, fully loaded, all the supports he would need just to be up on his feet. Soon he was walking, and within a short period of time, he is now at a point where he is walking with just one hand to hold. That's awesome.
In the spring of 2003, Woodland Developmental Center began a journey that changed the way they looked at individuals with severe disabilities. It is also changing the way these individuals with disabilities see their world. This journey is a program called MOVE. MOVE stands for Mobility Opportunities via Education and was developed in the early 1980s by special education teacher Linda Bedabi in Bakersfield, California. A famous quote by Linda Bedabi states, "Movement is the foundation for all learning." This is exactly what Woodland has experienced.
MOVE is a program that promotes inclusiveness and participation for individuals with significant cognitive and physical disabilities. It does this by teaching functional mobility skills within the context of meaningful activities. Individuals are learning to sit, stand, walk, and transfer in order to be able to participate actively with their non-disabled peers, whether it be in the home, the school, or the community setting. These are individuals in the past who have been relegated to sitting in their wheelchairs most of the day, or lying on a mat table, or sitting in a beanbag, and being very passive in their interactions. Now, you see them up and moving, they're engaged and actively participating in their everyday life.
MOVE can be used at school, at home, or in the community. A typical day in the MOVE program consists of the individuals sitting, standing, walking, and making transitions in their natural environments. MOVE is not about equipment. However, the equipment used in the MOVE program helps give the individual the needed physical support, which assists them in participating in various activities.
For the last 26 years, I've been working with children and adults with severe disabilities. And the biggest challenge has been finding the time to actually teach skills and also to come up with goals that are measurable and achievable. And with MOVE, that the second guessing is done. M.O.V.E. does it all for you. It comes up with your activities, your skills that you want to do and concentrate on during those activities, and it also comes up with your goals that are achievable. And most of our parents have had the thrill of actually having an IEP where they see that their child has achieved a goal. It's made my job easier, and it's made the students' job easier, and it's made our teaching more critical and more important.
We believe that all students deserve the opportunity to explore their environment, learn through experiences as their non-disabled peers do, and develop a sense of dignity. One of the foundations to dignity is having mobility.
The M.O.V.E. program is beneficial for a whole host of reasons. The first being that when the students are in an upright position, it helps with their digestion and overall health. The second reason why the M.O.V.E. program is so important is that it allows the students free usage of their upper extremities, which in turn helps them to develop upper extremity skills, which are so important. And in my view, the M.O.V.E. program is less about the equipment and more about what the students do once they're up in the equipment. Some of the tasks that I present to them relate to improving their fine motor or visual motor skills, and some of the examples of those type of tasks are grasp and release activities, writing their name, and also zipping their coat, which relates to their functional aspect.
After some initial training, you've got classrooms giving kids opportunities to move. Whether they're sitting, they're standing, they're walking, they're transitioning up from the floor. All those things that we do as physical therapists, it's being done in multiple times more in the opportunities as what we can do therapists alone. So what it basically is doing is it's fusing what the teachers and the classroom staff and what therapists do for the benefit of the children. They're getting so much more opportunities, and with that increased opportunities, what's happening is these kids are gaining skills a whole lot faster. I mean, who wouldn't want that?
What I've noticed is that students that are severely multiply impaired, when they are placed upright in the equipment, their head comes up, and people interact with them more frequently. And getting that interactive response from the students is a big thing. And so when they know that someone's talking directly to them, they're more likely to give eye contact and give some kind of response back. And then when they're out of the equipment, maybe in their chairs, they're recognizing that interaction more frequently and bringing their head up to respond to people. And that's been one of the most positive things that I've seen so far.
An individual's mobility involves not only movement, but also involves sitting, standing, and transitioning. For example, when we sit, although our body doesn't appear to be moving, our muscles are working to keep us in that position. Upright positioning, whether it is walking, standing, sitting, or transferring, involves weight bearing and improves an individual's cardiovascular fitness, bone health, body alignment, and respiratory health. Additional benefits of mobility are that as a person gains motor skills, they become easier to care for at home, at school, and in the community.
As a school nurse involved in the M.O.V.E. program, we have seen an improvement in our students' overall health. We have virtually seen an elimination of skin breakdown. We have seen less severe respiratory infections such as pneumonia. We've seen an overall improvement in our students' gastrointestinal health. The movement alone, getting them up and doing some weight-bearing activities will have an increase on their bone density, and we're seeing improvement in cardiovascular health.
The biggest area change for me in the M.O.V.E. program has been the toileting. We, in the past, used to lift the children out of the wheelchairs and lay them on a table and change them, and then pick them up and put them back in their wheelchair. Now with the M.O.V.E. program, we are teaching them mobility skills, which they're learning to stand, and they're also learning from sitting to standing, and then from standing, lowering themselves. And it's a great opportunity for all of the kids, and it's one that everyone needs to have the opportunity to do.
Through hard work and the collaborative efforts with our families, every student participating in the M.O.V.E. program has shown some achievement in their mobility skills. This has resulted in increased social skills and self-confidence. Through our students' achievements, people's perspectives and beliefs about individuals with severe physical disabilities has dramatically changed.
Garrett loves to move. He loves to boat, he loves to snowmobile. He doesn't so much like to sit. He likes to be right involved with us. He's a great little boy and he wants to have fun in life. Who would want to sit down all day if they had a chance to stand up and to get around to see what we see and to experience what we see? A few months ago, I got a phone call from my son's classroom. She told me that Garrett had taken some steps in the pacer. And then she told me that he actually almost made it clear across the room, he was kind of showing off for everybody. So she brought the therapist in and the principal, and everybody was giving him a go, Garrett. She did send me a picture and I was just so happy. It brought tears to my eyes.
She did nothing. She laid around. She didn't reach for anything, didn't attempt. Very little emotion. You didn't really get a lot of smiles or giggles or anything that you would expect. It wasn't instant, but we started to see progress. We started to see growth. I mean, more head control, simple things. Over the summer, she learned to sit up independently. And since learning to sit up, not only, I mean, she used to kind of just slouch back. Now she sits up straight. She giggles. She reaches for things. You can help her stand now with support under her arms, things we never expected.
I've seen some amazing things, not just from Marissa, but from other kids as well. She belongs to a Challenger League baseball team, and a lot of the kids that are on her baseball team go to Woodlands here, and they are all part of the M.O.V.E. program. And it's amazing to see these kids, some of them a couple years ago couldn't even bear weight, now standing there and, swinging a baseball bat. And just, it's priceless to see their face light up and see that sense of accomplishment.
From an administrator's point of view, implementation of the M.O.V.E. program at our school has been an incredible benefit. First and foremost, staff safety has been incredibly improved. When children are doing some amount of weight bearing, some amount of transferring on their own, that's a lot less wear and tear on the staff and a lot less opportunity for the students to get injured while staff are assisting them in lifts. Secondly, we can show improvement on IEP goals for a group of students that sometimes that was very difficult to show, to be able to actually document and show the amount of growth when sometimes the growth appears small. But we have that data now with implementing the M.O.V.E. program. We have some good significant data that we can show improvement on student IEP goals. Lastly, I have noticed that our students' worlds have opened up for a population of individuals who basically had to wait for the world to come to them and to interact with them. They are up moving. They are doing purposeful tasks throughout the day. They are becoming more included in the school environment. They're participating, and their lives are opening up, and that happens for them at home as well. So really, implementation of the M.O.V.E. program is very, very beneficial, and I'm so glad that we got on board with it over 9 years ago.
You can't put a price tag on a child being independent and being able to achieve goals. I mean, all I can say is it's like you can't. I wish that legislators, they would just not look at what's on paper, but see how this affects kids' lives, and it truly does.
The Woodland M.O.V.E. journey began with the belief that all individuals with disabilities can learn, and it is still the mainstay today. Building personal dignity is of paramount importance, and the smiles on their faces say it all.
That was an inspirational video, and now we have more questions. How was M.O.V.E. introduced at Woodlands?
Well, basically, we received an email from our administration, and we kept putting it in our inbox thinking, well, maybe one day we'll look at it more. And finally one day we did, and we thought, well, maybe it is actually geared for severely multiply impaired, because so many things out there were not geared for my students. So we finally went, and it was in Kent County, which would be Lincoln and Ottawa. And we went and observed the program, and we were really impressed to see these kids up and moving and the smiles and the activity that was going on. So we came back and we got a hold of M.O.V.E. International and got a trainer to come out and train, I think it was 25 people originally, into the program.
Okay, and how has M.O.V.E. helped the students?
Basically, there's so many advantages to M.O.V.E. because if you think about the fact that you're up and moving, you're up on your feet, it increases your bone strength, your muscle mass, it makes things work better. Kids are upright, their self-esteem is better because they are actually eye to eye to people. A lot of times in a wheelchair, people ignore people in wheelchairs. They don't mean to, it's just something that happens. But if you are standing there in front of someone, people talk to you. And that's the biggest thing, is our students are so much more social.
Okay, and what is your job with the M.O.V.E. program?
Okay, well, first off, I am a teacher for severely multiply impaired, so because of my job itself, I do the M.O.V.E. program in my classroom. I'm also what's called an MIT, which is a M.O.V.E. International trainer.
Okay. Is M.O.V.E. a program that should be adopted at other schools as well?
I believe that there's parts of M.O.V.E. and that should be everywhere, because a lot of the things with M.O.V.E. is it goes through what the family wants and needs, or what the student wants and needs. And so because of that built-in step of the program, it makes it very important.
Okay, and how can parents become involved with their kids with the M.O.V.E. program?
Majority of our parents have become involved simply through an IEP, an individual education plan, but they've also, some of them have taken it on to having the equipment that helps with the program in their home. Also, we have a few parents who actually went through some training.
Okay, so for your job, the MIT, what does a day look like for you at Woodlands?
What does a day look like for me? Well, first off, I am a teacher, so my first thing is, of course, I'm getting students off the bus. Now, if I've got some students who are independent or semi-independent coming off the bus, they are actually walking off the bus. In the nicer months, Michigan, the ice is not great for walking. So in the nicer months, we do have them walking right off the bus into a pacer gait trainer, which is a walker, and taking that into the school. A lot of our activities are based on what do they need to do that activity. If the activity is the simple thing of having a snack, what pieces of equipment or skills do they need to do snack? What skills do they need to do a morning circle or a calendar?
Okay. Are there any other MITs in the building?
There is one other MIT right now. Her name is Bev, and there is going to be another one trained soon.
Okay. What is your favorite thing about being an MIT?
My favorite thing about being a teacher is my students. I love watching them learn. I love watching them when they figure something out, it's just thrilling.
Is that the most rewarding part of being an MIT and a teacher there?
Yeah. You can't, I don't know how to word it other than when they figure something out and they have that smile on their face, you can't help it. There have been moments where you are smiling so hard you cry because it's just so cool to see them learn.
Wow, that sounds like an awesome program you guys have. Thanks for coming in and sharing that information with us.
You're welcome.
This has been Student Connections on M6, your hometown station.